Let's jump right on into it with Heracross. Heracross here is a bug fighting type, which means it resists bug fighting grass, dark, and ground, and it's got 3 regular weaknesses to fire, fairy, and psychic, with 1 4 times weakness to flying. Now that's okay. Terrestrialization is a thing. If we want, we could become a rock type to deal with that flying weakness. We can become a steel type. We can do whatever we want. We could double down with one of our 2 stab options, or what we could do is just pick a defensive typing to go into to help survive some unpleasant attacks that might be coming our way. Heracross here has 2 really good abilities in the form of Moxie and Guts. Guts gives you a 50% boost to your attack stat if you are statused with either a burn, poison, paralysis, I'm pretty sure even sleep. I think the only thing it technically wouldn't really do anything with is freeze, because freeze prevents you from doing anything, but I digress. You get that status condition, you get a whopping 50% boost into your attack stat. On top of that, Moxie, Heracross's hidden ability, gives you an attack boost if you pick up a KO, and with Heracross's monstrous attack stat, that shouldn't be much of a problem. Heracross had a mega evolution back in the days of Generation 6 that gave it the ability Skill Link, which means basically Heracross would be able to use any multi-striking move and land it 5 times, meaning Heracross then gained access to a lot of multi-striking moves, which means that loaded dice can definitely be a good item option for it. On top of that, you can also use the Flame Orb if you want to go with the Guts route and go from there. So let's jump into Heracross's stats. So we have a base 80 HP, 125 attack, 75 defense, which is a little bit unfortunate, 40 special attack, which we don't care about, 95 special defense, which is really nice, and then finally 85 speed. It does not take much investment on a neutral nature for your speed to hit 112. I have this Heracross on screen EV'd to hit 113 to speed creep. Anything that is EV'd to outspeed Electrode and slower under Tailwind. The main reason why I was thinking that is Electrode is a base 150 mon, and if you ever want to try Heracross and you decide I want to choose Madness and go into a restricted format, well, this at least lets you outspeed Caloric Shadow Rider as well. And basically, we're EV'd to speed creep and outspeed anything that's at 112 points under Tailwind so that we can get the jump on them, do some damage, and depending on what set we're using, whether it be Moxie or Guts, hopefully pick up a KO and go from there. So the idea that I was thinking with a loaded dice Heracross is we have Pin Missile. Pin Missile is a base 25 powered bug type attack with 95 accuracy. It also gets stab arm thrust. Now, arm thrust is really weak on its own. It's only base 15 power. That said, if you go Terra fighting after stab, that's 30 power right there. 4 times 30 is 120 right there. That's a non-stab close combat, which sounds kind of bad, but if you think about it, it's a base 80 move after regular stab is applied, which is not too bad. And if you luck out and you get 5 hits, 5 times 30 is 150, you basically just used a base 100 move. On top of that, you can potentially break focus sashes, which can be really handy. Now, if you don't want to run Terra fighting, I don't recommend running arm thrust. I only recommend running arm thrust if you go with Terra fighting to double that power. If you don't want to run Terra fighting, if you want to run, like, say, maybe Terra rock for the defensive flying resist, or if you want to go Terra bug to make Pin Missile stupidly overpowered, what you could do is you could take out arm thrust and put on close combat. Close combat's a base 120 move. It lowers your defenses, unfortunately, but that will dent a lot of things, even things that outright resist fighting. So that is definitely something you could do with Heracross. And on top of that, because you're running that Moxie ability right there and you're getting a potential attack boost, your close combat or arm thrust, depending on what fighting type coverage option you go with, is going to be devastating. Arm thrust and Pin Missile both can break focus sashes, and that is going to be really handy with dealing with glass cannon sweepers. What I was thinking here is we definitely have that tailwind support so that we can have Heracross outspeed things, but even Prankster Thunderwave, like say Thunderous or Grimmsnarl, could be really handy beside Heracross. On top of that, having access to psychic terrain with Indeedee could be handy, or even being able to provide screens to make sure that Heracross takes less damage could be handy, especially if we're running close combat instead of arm thrust. So let's talk about what I was thinking about for this first EV set. We have 188 into our HP, 220 on an adamant nature to hit 190, 36 to put a little bit of a band-aid on that defense, 4 EVs into our special defense to bring it up to 116, and then 60 to hit that 113. Now, you don't necessarily have to go with this. If you want to, you could just go full-on sweeper, go max speed investment, max attack investment, but I really recommend running adamant on Heracross. And the main reason being, normally I would say run Jolly so that you can try to outpace things with booster energy, getting speed like say Fluttermane and Iron Bundle. Unfortunately, on a Jolly nature, you will never outspeed Iron Bundle. Heracross just doesn't quite have the speed stat for that. So let's cut our losses. We'll be able to outspeed Calyrex, Shadow Rider / Electrode at the current level that we're at. If we want to try to outpace Regieleki, we could do that with a Jolly nature potentially. We can easily hit 139 if we wanted to. But what I was thinking is we could go for that loaded dice and the Moxie to make a strong hitting sweeper. On top of that, because I haven't mentioned it yet, we also get access to Rock Blast. So that's a multi-striking rock type attack that can hit flying types that would love to try to pick off Heracross. And maybe if they are coming in on Heracross and expecting this to be a gut set, they might try to set up instead. So maybe what they might think is you're going to go for Protect to go for a Flame Orb burn to stall out your turn one. They might have, like, say, Galarian Moltres, for example, go for a nasty plant thinking that it's safe right in front of them. Well, you go for that Rock Blast instead, and now you're hitting them a minimum of 4 times for super effective damage. That could be fun too. Let's talk about the gut set as well. So I have the Flame Orb on here, and the moves might look a little bit suspicious. They might look something like what Smogon has for the RU tier, and you know what? They still pack a punch. It's not exact Smogon because that's set up for singles. I was thinking kind of like a doubles idea, but damn it, they work. Don't fix what isn't broken. We kind of want to break Heracross though. So anyways, we have max attack investment. We have the 113 speed right there. We have 194 attack. We have guts. A Flame Orb guts boosted Heracross will dent most things, whether it be with close combat or Megahorn. Both of these moves are base 120. They have stab. If you wanted to, you could run Terra Fighting or Terra Bug to make them even stronger. I did some damage calcs with just say using the Guts boost and a Helping Hand boost, and not a lot of things like taking either one of these moves. You could go completely defensive with your Terra if you want to. You don't necessarily have to go for the absurd stab breaking capabilities, but if you wanted to, you could do that. This might be one of the few times where I actually recommend Terra Bug. The Pin Missile would be one as well, but it's not often that I recommend burning your Terra to turn into a bug type. But hey, Terra Fighting, Terra Bug, they do a lot of damage. If you wanted to, you could go Terra Dark to prevent yourself from being statused from Prankster moves. Well, actually, you kind of want to be statused, but it's a question of if you want to be burned or whatnot. Avoiding Prankster status could be handy, though. I digress. Status moves that are coming from Prankster could be really annoying. But hey, we also have Throat Chop here to hit Ghost types because Ghost types are immune to fighting and they do resist bug, so we have that Throat Chop as well. Throat Chop is a little bit weaker than the rest, so you could make a case for going Terra Dark to gain stab on Throat Chop, and then you have that 50% attack boost from your guts. That's definitely an option as well. And like I mentioned with the loaded dice, if you wanted to, you could just take the bulk completely out of this thing and go more attack, more speed. That's definitely an option. Anyways, guys, I hope I sold you on Heracross. Let me know what you think down in the comments below.